Welcome back to your Saturday afternoon edition of Coffee Time with TD. I hope you've had an absolutely wonderful day. I myself have had a couple glasses of wine and I've watched soccer all day, and it's been wonderful. And I'm getting ready to have some lobster pasta tonight for dinner and a little Chateau Margaux. But let's get to it. Let's get stuck in. You know what it is. Get down or lay down. I haven't talked about Project 2025 yet because I really didn't know enough about it. And I want you to know that I'm still looking into it. I'm still reading about it. But I do believe that I know enough now to comment on it. And I also want to hear what you think and what your comments are and what your thoughts on this Project 2025, which is brought to you by the right-wing nut job, nuttier than squirrel shit, far-right Heritage Foundation. And when I say in November life is going to go one way or another, I say life has consequences and repercussions. And listen, I want you to know that by far, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, the Democrats are not perfect. Far from it. And I told you before Biden dropped out of the race, they have caused me to day drink, get a subscription to Tylenol, Advil. So they are far from perfect. There are things I absolutely do not like about Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and the Democratic Party in general. You know I am not a fan at all of AOC. But the one thing that I draw the line in is any sort of hate, ageism, racism, sexism. We need to be more loving, more caring with one another, and we need to treat each other better. And this possibility of a Project 2025 actually coming into place, you know, when everything started, it was the executive, judicial, and legislative branch, all equal parts of government. And this would consolidate all of the power to the presidency, to Trump, right? And, you know, you laughed at me, you called me names when I said, you know, when the Supreme Court ruled in Trump's favor, and I said the first American monarchy was born. I said that if he does get in, he will not leave office in 2028. If something as scary as 2025, Project 2025 were to happen, that needs to scare the shit out of you. That will take us back to the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, everything. That, more than anything, needs to scare the shit out of you. And again, I'm learning more and more about it, but I know that it will be an autocracy and we will no longer be a democracy. And again, this Heritage Foundation, nuttier than squirrel shit. I mean, and you are talking about consolidating all of the power to Trump. That should terrify you. And again, we do not need to live in a country where, oh, if Trump gets in, it won't be that bad. Just the possibility. And again, there are a litany of things I don't like about about Kamala Harris, about Tim Walz. There are a litany of things about it. But nothing absolutely scares the living dog shit out of me like Project 2025 does. Terrifies me. You know, when you let the devil in, don't expect the devil to stop being the devil. And you have people like the Heritage Foundation and these nut job right-wing people that want to take America back to the 20s and have women in the kitchen making babies. And you hear the stuff that J.D. Vance says. When people tell you who they are and show you who they are, believe them. And I'm asking you, and I am a proponent of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. But I want you to know there are a litany of things that I do not like about them. But you have to choose love and empathy, and you have to choose grace, and you have to choose caring. Because this Heritage Foundation and Project 2025 is everything but that. We need to treat each other better. Everyone. We need to be inclusive, not exclusive. And this Project 2025, and again, I'm going to do another video on it. I am learning and reading more and more about it. I am trying to educate myself on it. But from what I've read so far, it terrifies me. And it should terrify you. And especially women. And especially LGBTQ community. It should terrify you and scare the living dog shit out of you. And get out there and vote. Vote for Kamala Harris. Vote for Tim Walz. Because you want to talk about going back. It'll be an autocracy. We will no longer be a democracy. And you're talking about all of the power being consolidated to Trump and the presidency. No more equal parts of government. No more anything. And that should scare the shit out of you. It's terrified me. What keeps you up at night? Project 2025 does. Read up on it. Educate yourself like I'm doing. But I'm scared. I'm scared because, as I've told you again, in November, you're going to know exactly who and what the United States is. It's going to go one way or it's going to go another way. Be prepared so you don't have to be terrified. Get ready so you'll be ready. And vote what matters to you most. Lots of love. I'll see you tomorrow. Grande beso. Have a great Saturday night.